Greetings Exiles, BullShifter here. Today we're going to be covering Alva, Incursions, and Incursions effects on the temple. So first thing we're going to do is go to our map device. Well, actually, let's go ahead and take a look at our atlas before we do anything else. So as you can see here, Alva is currently in the arcade map, guaranteed, because again, that green and red icon there represents where she is in the atlas for the daily challenge. So we're going to go to the arcade map, seek her out, and we'll find ourselves 3 incursions. Now I say 3 because each time that she appears in a map, she's going to carry 3 incursions with her. Now the reason why this is important is because once you complete 11 incursions, you are going to get to explore the temple. And the temple does have some exclusive loot that only the boss in the temple actually drops. However, it does take some work to get to that boss, and I'll explain exactly what I mean once we actually find her here. Go ahead and kill the creeps. I got scurried right away. So what we'd be looking for on the overhead map here will be just a little pyramid looking icon, and that'll represent where she's at. Looks like this just looped all the way back around. Scurry through here. Let's try this direction. A little bit of map exploration never hurt anyone anyways. Well, except for enemies on the map, I guess. This is kind of hurting them. I suppose that actually almost did hurt us there. So she can't be too far off. Well, there's Kvass. As mentioned in previous videos, he'll show up pretty much at every map right now, just because the current season content will always pop up more than everything else. And that'll carry through to the league, excuse me, not season. And that'll carry through to the next league also. That's just kind of a general rule for leagues. So sorry Kvass, but we're not going to be helping you out right now. We got other things to do. Just realized we didn't have our ice golem, so or our lightning golem. Oh, let's see right there. There's that little gold pyramid icon, so she is right around the corner here. Perseverance. So we'll go ahead and clear everything out around her, just to make this a little easier.
Just in time.
Just make sure there's nothing that's going to creep up on us in the surrounding area. No, we should be safe. So if you go ahead and talk to Alva,
We found the temple.
she'll kind of go through her whole spiel.
Let's have a look at the layout.
Now, this layout here in the map is very important. Because something to keep in mind, obviously right here, the cloister, that's where we're going to be starting here. But all of these rooms, if you'll notice that there's lines between some of them, those are essentially hallways that will connect separate rooms within the temple, which the temple is essentially going to be just it's like a dungeon, and we're kind of creating our own dungeon here. But our goal is to get to the top, the apex, that's where the boss of the temple is, where we're going to get some of those exclusive drops. So our goal is to actually go ahead and open hallways, so opening doors within these rooms. Now unfortunately here in the cloister, there's actually already open connections into all of the other rooms, and you can see that on the upper right hand corner here as well. Those little circles, they represent the doors into those hallways. Now they're all green, so that's another way to tell that they're all open. If they weren't, they would be red. So what our focus here is going to be killing one of the two architects in the room to alter this room itself once we go ahead and enter that room within the temple. The premise of this content is the fact that we're going through a time rift and killing one of these architects to change the present day temple once we enter it. So let's go ahead and look and see exactly what we're going to get for killing each one of these architects. So the one we can kill over here on the left, it'll change the cloister into a guardhouse, which will increase monster pack size throughout the temple. So essentially it's going to give us higher monster density, which is kind of a good thing. It'll up the difficulty a bit, but it's also more than likely going to give us some better rewards as well. Or we can kill the other architect, which will change it to torment cells, which will contain tormented spirits. So depending on the drops that those spirits have, that could also be a nice selection as well. So I think what we're going to do for this one is we'll just go ahead, enter the incursion, and whichever is closest to us, we'll probably attack that one to try and guarantee at least one bonus. Because once you do enter here, you are going to be on a time constraint that starts with 10 seconds. So the only way to increase that time amount, or that time limit that you have within that room, is to kill some of the monsters within the room itself. However, these architects obviously are going to take a bit longer to kill than some of the weaker enemies, so you're going to want to go through and kill some of those weaker enemies to up that timer to give you a little bit more time to take out one of the architects.
It's time.
And Alva says it's time, so let's do this. So we've got some creeps down here. As you can see, we're up to 11 seconds now, back down to 10. Kill some more enemies, hopefully give us some more time here. Resistant to elemental damage, so that's a bit detrimental to what we're trying to do. But it looks like, yep, we're going to finish him off there. So that's essentially what we're trying to do here. We can up the time by killing some more creeps, but it doesn't really matter at this point. We've killed one of the architects, so we've altered the room. And as you can see there, it teleports us out at the end. Now, much like the Kavas league content that's going on right now with Synthesis, as soon as you are teleported out of the incursion here, it's actually going to go ahead and drop all of your gear outside as well. So we got a unique for that, which is super nice. And now we have 10 incursions remaining. So we'll have to complete 10 more of those exact type of incursions, not that room necessarily, but just incursions in general. And we can then be teleported to within the temple itself. So let's go ahead and see if we can find Alva again within this map, because I'm hoping we can find a map that not all the hallways have been opened in. So we can hopefully get lucky and find the item to open up a hallway, which is called the Stone of Passage. And it's going to show up as a green drop. It'll be pretty obvious once it drops that it's an important drop. So here we go, the Shrine of Empowerment. So ideally here, since obviously we can get to the entrance right away, and we don't have a way into the vault or the tunnels yet because they're not connected to anything either, ideally we'd like to hit this lower portion of the map here to the left, and as you go over the rooms, it'll actually highlight where those entrances are as well. So we're going to hope to open an entrance to the entrance to guarantee we can also get into that Shrine of Empowerment. So we can try to kill an architect along the way as well. One is going to give us a chance for a strong box chamber, which, self-explanatory, will give strong boxes. And the other will increase the speed of monsters throughout the temple. So the architect that's going to contain strong boxes, excuse me, is actually closer to the entrance we're trying to get to anyways. So I think we'll go for that one. Open the time portal. Now these Stones of Passage drop randomly from a random enemy on the map. So we don't know who is going to have this. So So we're just going to kill away at these minions and hope that one of them drops it. There it is. We have 18 seconds, 16 seconds to get to that door, which should be plenty of time for us. Clear out all these guys, open the entrance, and that's all there is to that. So we're not going to have time to take out that architect, but we open the hallway that we're hoping to open, and that's, you know, our main goal there. So Alva will also be in this map one more time, because as I said, every time you run a map that she's in, she will be there 3 times. But that kind of gives you the main idea of exactly what the incursion content entails. I suppose the next one's close enough. We'll run the 3rd one, just because it's so close. Otherwise I was probably going to finish up the video there, but we'll open up this 3rd one, see where that leads us to, just for fun. And see if anything interesting happens with them here. A little bit of scouring, that's a really nice drop. Very useful for crafting. Guaranteed chromatic orb there. Yeah, I just want to attack a few mobs here to get them out of the way and to make sure that all of my flasks are full as well. So the pits, unfortunately, as you can tell by the green dots and the connected hallways, this is another map for us that is completely open. So at this point we're just going to be looking to kill one of the architects. So we can get pools of restoration, which will heal monsters in the temple, or we can add traps throughout the temple. Honestly, I don't want my monsters healing themselves, so we're probably going to go for that trap warehouse. So we're going to go to that upper portion of the map. So as you can probably tell, a lot of this is really based off of planning your route and kind of paying attention to the map before you even enter, so that way you've got an idea of what general direction you want to go into. And we should have plenty of time. Yeah, we're going to finish him off here with no problems. So that's going to put traps throughout the temple now. And at this point, if you'd like to, you can kind of go look for more enemies just to see if you can get some more loot before you end up taking off. And we actually got some uniques out of 2 of the 3 incursions that we entered. So the incursions themselves actually, you know, do have some incentive to run aside from the build your own temple here also. And there you saw it just change to a trap workshop. So that's kind of cool too. Not only is it going to change some of the effects of the temple itself, but the room names themselves will also change. So yeah, that's pretty much the temple, incursions, and Alva in a nutshell. If you do have any further questions about the content, definitely feel free to go ahead and pop down in the comments section and ask. I do plan on getting through a good majority of the rest of the tutorial videos I have planned this week, and I would like to start streaming next Monday at the very latest. So I do plan on still building that lifesteal zombie mancer that I had previously mentioned a couple videos back. I've been kind of going through the path of building app, just kind of planning some of my passive nodes, looking through what gems I would like to get, and a few of the unique items that I believe will help the build also, just so that way I can kind of cover all of my bases. This will be a bit of a different build for me, just because in the past I haven't done a whole lot of builds that actually revolve around unique items at all, and this one, there are definitely a couple of unique items that are really going to benefit this build. So it's going to be kind of an informative let's play, just to kind of take you guys through beginning to end of leveling a character, building a character, going through the content, and you know, hopefully we actually do hit a couple walls with this character, so we kind of have to figure out, you know, does my gear need to change, do my passives need to change, because this is all stuff that you're going to run into at different points in the game until you get very, very, very experienced with the game. I have a very solid grasp on the game itself, but I'm by no means a max ultra crafter who knows absolutely every skill gem and everything about the game. I feel that I, at this point in my Path of Exile career, pretty much have just the right amount of knowledge to explain the basics about everything and to just kind of help others out in getting started and feeling comfortable with the game, which obviously is the purpose of this channel and why you're watching. And with that said, I do appreciate you watching. Thank you guys so much for being a part of the channel. Definitely feel free to subscribe and turn on notifications for when I do start streaming next week if that's something you're interested in watching. That way you can be a part of it live and in the moment and asking any questions you may have along the way. I will do my best to answer questions as we go, as long as we're not completely stopping progress of the stream. I'm going to start probably doing it Monday, Wednesday, Friday is the plan at around 8 p.m. Central Time. But if you turn on notifications and are subscribed, I believe YouTube will just tell you when I'm online, which makes it much easier for the whole time zone change and difference thing, which is the reason why I recommend that. So again, thank you for watching. Thank you for being a part of the channel, as I already said before and got off track. But until next time, may the RNG be with you. Always.